Over the last 6 decades, space travel has advanced by leaps and bounds, with the development of liquid and solid fuels, as well as the use of solar panels and radioactive power sources, among many impressive innovations, allowing space agencies around the world to undertake ever more ambitious missions that were previously unthinkable. Welcome to Tech Heaven, and in this video we'll take a look at some of the best space missions carried out till date. Number 10. Pioneer 10 and 11, 1972 to 2003. The Pioneer missions of NASA were designed to study about the solar system's furthest reaches. These two spacecraft were the most scientifically advanced vehicles to enter the solar system at the time of their launch. They carried out a variety of never-before-used space experiments, including a charged particle instrument to assess the extent of the sun's effect as they traveled toward the end of the solar system, and an ultraviolet photometer to determine the composition of Jupiter's atmosphere. While communication with Pioneer 10 was lost in 2003 and with Pioneer 11 in 1995, the probes continue to make their way out of the solar system, each with an onboard plaque describing the spacecraft's origin in case they are ever discovered by intelligent life forms from another world. The Pioneer spacecraft were Earth's first deep space probes, and they held the record for being the farthest man-made object from Earth until they were surpassed in 1990s by the Voyager probes. Number 9. Venera probes, 1961 to 1984. Russia's most successful space exploration missions to date have been the Venera missions. Venus, our solar system's hottest planet, was visited by 23 different spacecraft. 10 of them landed on the planet's surface, while the others remained in orbit or entered the scorching planet's atmosphere. Each Venera lander was a technological marvel, capable of operating on the surface of Venus for up to 2 hours, despite temperatures of up to 462 degrees Celsius. They returned critical data on the planet's surface, including precise information about the planet's atmosphere structure and surface temperature. Number 8. Hayabusa, 2003 to 2010. The Hayabusa mission from Japan was the first to return an asteroid sample, but it was not without complications. A fuel leak rendered its chemical engines inoperable, and the probe was forced to limp home on its weaker ion engines due to a number of technical issues. It finally arrived 3 years late in 2010, but the mission was a success. Although ion engines are not as powerful as chemical engines, they produce continuous thrust for a significantly longer period of time, allowing the vehicle to gradually build up speed rather than getting a large push from a chemical engine at the outset of its voyage and then being left to drift. Number 7. Vostok 1, 1961. Yuri Gagarin became the first man to travel to space in 1961, and the spaceship that brought him there for 68 minutes was a crewed sphere known as Vostok 1. Extra measures were taken for the first manned spacecraft to leave Earth orbit, which were eventually deemed unnecessary for future space missions. Gagarin was unable to freely move around the cabin or physically operate the spaceship because scientists were unsure how people would fare in the weightless atmosphere of space. Nonetheless, in the annals of space exploration, Vostok 1 is without a doubt one of the most significant spacecraft of all time. Number 6. The Space Shuttle, 1981 to 2011. NASA's 5 spacefaring space shuttles were the largest spacecraft ever built, and each accomplished a number of critical missions that established them as some of the most essential vehicles to enter Earth orbit. Among its many accomplishments are sending the Hubble Space Telescope into orbit and later repairing it, as well as launching more than 80% of the modules for the International Space Station. There were a total of 135 missions, however 2 of them ended in tragedy. The Challenger spacecraft detonated 73 seconds after launch in 1986, while the Columbia spacecraft was destroyed on re-entry in 2003. While the shuttles will be remembered as mainly successful, these 2 disasters serve as a continual reminder of how risky it may be to attempt to place humans in orbit and return them to Earth. By the way, if you're watching us for the first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can enjoy our future videos while getting updated. Getting back to the scene, number 5, New Horizons, 2006 to present. NASA's New Horizons spacecraft is the first man-made probe to fly by Pluto. While its primary goal is to examine what was the solar system's 9th planet at the time of its launch, it has also researched Jupiter and its moons along the way. The New Horizons probe is the fastest to depart Earth's orbit, reaching speeds of almost 36,000 miles per hour after launch. It is currently more than 21 times farther away from the Sun than the Earth, outside Uranus's orbit. At that distance, it takes over 3 hours for the probe to send or receive a signal. Number 4. Voyager 1 and 2, 1977 to present. The Pioneer spacecraft were the first deep space probes, but they were far from the last. The Voyager program was intended to research Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, but as the probes continued to operate, the mission was expanded to encompass the study of the solar system's edge, the border into interstellar space, which they are now entering. The Voyager probes, like several previous and subsequent missions, are powered by 3 radioisotope thermoelectric generators that use a plutonium-238 isotope to produce continuous energy. Each of the Voyager probes carries a collection of Earth sounds and visuals known as the Golden Record, as well as instructions on how to locate Earth if an extraterrestrial race ever finds it. Number 3. Galileo, 1989 to 2003. Following flybys of Venus and Earth, NASA's Galileo spacecraft was launched into space by Space Shuttle Atlantis in 1989 and sent on its way to explore Jupiter. It was the first spacecraft to orbit Jupiter, as well as the first to fly by an asteroid on its journey to the gas giant. It also carried the Galileo space probe, which it launched into Jupiter's atmosphere in 1995, yielding unprecedented data on the composition of the atmosphere of our solar system's largest planet. To avoid accidentally falling on and contaminating a nearby potentially life-harboring moon in the future, the orbiting spacecraft was sent plummeting into Jupiter in 2003, where it instantly burned up. Number 2. Apollo 11, 1969. The Apollo 11 spacecraft was the first manned spacecraft to land on the moon. It was launched atop the Saturn V, the most powerful rocket ever built. The spacecraft was divided into 2 sections, the lunar module and the command module, with the latter remaining in orbit around the moon with astronaut Michael Collins aboard, and the former transporting astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to the surface. Apollo 11 cleared the groundwork for 5 more successful moon missions, each of which spent several days on the lunar surface. Number 1. Cassini-Huygens, 1997 to present. The Cassini-Huygens probe is a collaboration between NASA, the European Space Agency, and the Italian Space Agency. The probe's orbital component went by Jupiter and became the first spacecraft to orbit Saturn, although being only the 4th spacecraft to visit the latter. The Huygens probe landed on Saturn's moon, Titan, on the 14th of January 2005 and returned photographs of the surface, making it the first and only successful landing in the outer solar system. It, like many other deep space missions, is fueled by the isotope plutonium-238, allowing its mission to be extended to 2017 as it travels deeper into the solar system. It has made numerous key discoveries about the outer solar system during its mission and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. Still, 2022 appears to be a really interesting time in space. More, it could be argued, is on the way, especially as NASA's plans to return to the moon grow and the private space industry expands faster than ever. Remember that space is unpredictable, and there is a significant chance that many more missions will be planned in the coming years. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Which of these space missions do you think made a revolution in science? Let us know in the comments. Like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you in the next video.